Welcome to Meeting at the Questions, where together we explore this thing called life. Today's question was inspired from some lyrics from the song Live Like That by the Sidewalk Prophets. Here are the lyrics. If love is who I am, then this is where I'll stand, recklessly abandoned, never holding back. So that's today's question. What is reckless abandon? Reckless is a word we use to describe actions that are performed without caring about the consequences. This is oftentimes perceived as the opposite of safe, secure, in a comfort zone, or predictable. And when we talk about abandon, the definition for this purpose is when we give up completely on a course of action, a practice, or a thought. And look at this, isn't it interesting that recklessness is a synonym for abandon? So what might this mean, reckless abandon, in our spiritual development or our spiritual walk? I propose it means that we have to let go of a lot of the things that we have been taught and our ideas that make us feel safe and comfortable and we're kind of predictable. So when we go to our instruction manual, there's a great verse that helps us understand why we may have to lay aside some of these thoughts and beliefs is that we are to run the race that has been set before us. We are to lay aside every weight and sin that clings to us so that we can do what it is we've been put on this earth to do. So the question is, how are we actually going to do this? Well, we always can look for a promise that will help support us. So the promise for this comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 9. And God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. One thing I love about the Bible is the absolutes. Notice how it's in all things, at all times, having all you need. That is something solid that we can stand on. We do have to recognize the difference between needs and wants. But still, that's a good promise. So when I think about this, the promise sounds something like this to me. Brandolyn, you have been put on this planet for a reason. Do your thing, knowing I will supply everything you need. So this is pretty exciting because when we move into reckless abandon, that means that we begin to be freed from things that are considered safe and secure and inside a comfort zone and predictable. It can be a little scary, no doubt, but is also pretty fun. So, when we are working under the idea of reckless abandon and letting go of some of those things that have held us down, we get to run the race that was set out before each of us. And each of us have to run our own race. That's so important. I've ran several marathons, but I've never ran someone else's marathon. I can only run my marathon. And that's what's so cool, is that God will give us what we need to run our own race. How will you know when you're inside reckless abandon? I think you'll know because as you start doing things, people will say things like, wow, that sounds like fun, or that is crazy, or you're doing what? Because we begin to push the boundaries of safe, secure, comfortable, and predictable when we're acting inside of reckless abandon for God's will. Now it's your turn. What direction are you going to take this learning? What one reckless abandon thing will you do today? Thank you for meeting me at the questions. As always, share your successes and thoughts at brandolint.com or email or text.